Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for your Friday. And this is going to be a really fun one. If you listened to Wednesday's show, you heard my voice was like almost gone. It was bad. I couldn't even make it through a show. I tried. I really did. I gave it an effort. Like I tried multiple times to record a show. Just wasn't happening. My voice just could not do it. I would get 3 minutes in and start coughing my lungs up. So I said, all right, you know what? We're ending it. We have put out a ton of good value on this podcast over the past 2.5 years. And we are actually going to go back and re-release one of our older episodes. And so that's what we did. And we went back to almost a year ago on the dot and released an episode that we did with Eric Hill from Fayark. And that was one of the best shows that we've done on the show, I believe. I believe it brought some of the most value that we've talked about. And so I said, let's re-release this. And then when I was doing the intro for it, I said, you know what? This is almost a year. It's about time to get a yearly update. And so that's exactly what we're doing today. Eric fit us in here in his schedule, and we're actually getting this done within 48 hours of that show, and now we're going to get it out here for Friday. And I'm excited for that to have him back-to-back. So if you listen to Wednesday's show, then you're going to get to hear – you got to hear what Eric was doing last year and previous years of business. Now, if you listen to today's show, you're going to get to hear more about Fayark and what's going on out there. The business is crushing it. It's crazy. They're growing. They're bursting at the seams, and I can't wait to hear every bit of it. Eric, let's just go ahead and bring you in, man. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to keep up with everything. Sounds like the same way you are. Sounds like work is just going 90 miles an hour up there, and so that's a good thing, though. That's a very good problem to have.
Yep.
Well, dude, I tell you, I don't want to take too much of your thunder. I want this to be your show. I want you to kind of give us the rundown of what's going on up there, man. Let's just hop into it and start just bringing the heat, bringing the value. What is give us the literal 30-second rundown of what you did to get started, because, like we said, Wednesday's show was literally your whole startup story, what we did a year ago. But I want today's show to be what's happened in the last year, where your business going in the next couple years, and what have you learned along the way?
Yeah. So thanks for having me on first off. But I mean, I started off mowing junior year of high school, grew it from 10 yards to 50 yards my senior year. Took it full time after my senior year. Been full time ever since. Will be 5 years in business on July 1st. Started off mowing, and basically now we're subbing all of our mowing. Gonna cut out a lot of residential mowing after this year, most likely, and only have commercial and full service, and have irrigation services in house. And I mean, focusing on the landscape side, a lot of installs, a lot of drainage, dirt work, and just bigger projects that we've just slowly grown into along the way.
I hear that, man. That's awesome. The mowing thing, I think, is what sticks out sticks out like a sore thumb, I guess you could say, in our audience, is because we got a lot of people out that are mowing and stuff, and so they hear you say, we're getting rid of all residential and going to all commercial. That scares a lot of people. A lot of people say, no way, I would never do that. I hate commercial. What does that process look like for you and your company, and what is the reasoning behind that? What are your thought processes, and how is that how's that more beneficial for your company?
So we've grown our commercial side slower than, I'd probably like to, but I didn't want to push it. I didn't want to take on every chain and go through every national company that called me, or I'd have a ton of work, and just, it's not a good customer relationship. So the customers we have, I've grown that relationship with them. They trust me. We're higher priced than most, but we're taking care of everything. We're doing a great job, and they're happy. we're communicating along the way, and anything that goes wrong, they know. So like they know everything going on their property, and they don't have to worry about anything. Like if it was a national company and having to get approval through all those people and all that process and whatnot. And the residential, it's too much of a headache. Like just a cookie cutter $45 cut, $50 cut anymore isn't what I want to deal with when we have $5, $10, $20,000 landscape jobs going on all the time. It seems like now.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I mean,
but
go ahead.
Mowing's not. I mean, mowing's good. Like you can make money mowing, but just where our company's going, it's not what we want to do. Not what I enjoy doing, and we're going to make a bigger impact doing the services that we do and serving their full service needs.
Mowing is fantastic. You can make money mowing. You can be profitable at mowing. I like mowing. When you start doing bigger landscape installs, you start to like mowing a lot less because you start doing these installs and you're doing 20, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20s in 3 or 4 days, and you're like, okay, this week of mowing cost me this much. I made about $100 more, and I do this landscape job and do what I would do in 3 weeks of mowing in 5 days, 4 or 5 days, and look at this profit margin. And so, like I said, you can do mowing profitably. I understand that. I'm not saying you should quit mowing. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're only mowing and that's all you do, then it's a lot harder for you to understand where Eric's coming from. And I would say that you start doing a couple landscape jobs, because this is the position that I'm in right now is why I say this. Like, we're starting to land some pretty big jobs, like, consistently. Like, last year we landed a couple jobs where I was like, holy cow, like, we're doing good. And we landed like 2 or 3 of those. This year we're landing like 6 and 8 weeks worth of work. Like, we're booking out, and this work keeps coming in, and I'm like, okay, this is becoming more and more enticing. Like, looking at machines and looking at growing that side of the business, and it's just crazy. And that's something you've had to deal with, right? I mean, that's how your business has grown over the past couple of years, correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, mowing is the least profitable service that you'll ever do, just because of the amount of capital investment in it and the labor dependency. Like, if you have one guy gone, that screws up everyone's schedule.
Yeah.
With landscaping, if you have a guy gone, normally that doesn't screw up a schedule. With like if you're only doing landscaping and like project work, if it rains a couple days, you're not like, oh, what am I going to do because of the weather? So you're a lot more flexible, and that's what I like. But I mean, I'll always be at least commercial maintenance. And we're going to keep some residentials, just our better customers that we take care of everything. But yeah, just getting rid of the mowing goes basically.
The more and more that I'm doing these jobs and getting equipment out and material and things like that, I'm starting to understand more and more of this. And I'd like you to hit on this as much as you want to or can. I'm realizing that mobilization is where your cost is. Like, you have so much caught up in mobilization of just getting onto the job site. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I mean, like today, we had a guy all day going to get plants for about 5 different jobs. Like, that's what he did all day. And I mean, we've got our nursery license, so we have wholesale deliveries to our shop now, which helps some. And when we're going to the supply store, we're going to buy as much stuff as we can to keep in stock at the shop. That way we're not having to run and grab materials everywhere.
Yeah.
And just try and limit that time, because that's where it is. I mean, it's just a lot of time in the planning side of it.
Yes. That's what I'm realizing. And I'm like, you still have to mobilize. You're not bringing dump trailers or anything like that, but you're still mobilizing 2 or 3 guys to go mow a yard. You're still mobilizing a truck or 2 trucks and a trailer and 2 or 3 zero turns with fuel and then all the small engine stuff. Like, there's so much cost involved with that, and you have to be so efficient that it gets to the point where you start doing some of this stuff, and it's like you're saying, I mean, I doubt you really wanted to say, hey, let's end all of our residentials. Maybe you did, just because of the headache of it. But then part of it's like you just can't hide from the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what we ran into this year. Like, it's taking away too much time from my office manager that she needs to be working on other things. And and I don't like dealing with, like, just the little issues that do come up with it. So that's kind of what I decided to just kind of at least cut out most of it. Might keep a little bit of it, but I mean, most of it will be gone.
Yeah, I hear you. So let's hop into the landscape side of things. So how have you grown the last year? Has your team grown? Have you grown in numbers? I know you're definitely said your revenue is growing. You can hit on that as much as you want to, but just like team culture, what are you doing there at Fayark, and how have you grown the last year?
Our team culture has been the best it's ever been. So, I mean, we still, right now, we have 9 guys, about to hire 2 more, so we'll be 11 or 12-ish. But, I mean, I've got great people. Like last year, I had some bad crew leaders, and we lost a lot of money because of mismanagement of jobs. And I just cut it back. And I told myself I'm not going to grow unless I have great people to grow with me. And I got 3 guys from a competitor. I mean, I didn't steal them. They chose me, and they're working for me now, and they're all great. And then just the guys we've had stay from last year. I mean, we've got a great team culture and always wanting to be better and do better. But, I mean, it's been nice because I'm able to take care of my people well. They appreciate it, and they're going to work hard and do a great job like they always have.
So
and then, I mean, we've grown.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, so how many teams do you have totally?
I was just going to say 12. I mean, in a week we'll have 12, but right now we have 9. So
okay.
9 field guys, and then my office manager, and then me.
Okay. What were you saying?
Yep. And then revenue, I mean, I was just going to talk about revenue. I mean, we've grown a lot. I mean, we're probably hit around 2.2-ish this year. And I wanted to stay the same size as last year just to get systems really dialed in before we try and grow more. But obviously we've had a lot of things come up, and we figured out our numbers a lot the past fall and winter. And I mean, just kind of learned all the cost and the hourly rate that we need to be charging and why, and stuck to that. And we've grown, so it's good. But I mean, we understand why, and it's starting to turn into a well-oiled machine slowly.
It's calculated growth, and that's the thing that you got to be careful and you need to make sure you're doing. And I've had to catch myself of that this year of like, we're growing, we're doing more in sales, but is it calculated? Am I doing it the right way? Am I doing it profitably? Because you can turn $20,000 jobs, but are you only making $2,000 on them? Then it's like, well, if you're only turning a $2,000 profit margin on a $20,000 job, then it's like, okay, well, is it actually worth your time and all the stuff that goes into a $20,000 job? You just, things like that. And those are just rough numbers I'm just throwing around. They're play numbers. But I'm just take that and input it into your company and say that how have y'all gone about getting systems implemented and growing that side of the business?
I mean, it's an ongoing process, and we're kind of just now starting to get it somewhat dialed in. I mean, it's just making checklists and having like just a list of tools, list of like the process, like the simple just overview process of how a job's going to go, and then just highlighting the details that you need to watch out for, and just kind of just breaking it down into sections, not trying to make these super long videos that are super in depth or making these super long checklists. I mean, it just needs to be simple. And I've learned a lot in the past 12 months of doing that. And I mean, we're not anywhere close to like, oh, we're completely systematized and it's all fine and dandy. It's going to be an ever changing thing. But I mean, it's just always wanting to strive to be better and just do a better job and figure out a better way to do things.
There's always a better way. Well, I say that. There's always ways to grow. Doesn't always mean there's a better way. There's always ways to improve on what you're doing. And that's something I feel like everyone has to pay attention to and realize. It's like you have to know that what you're doing isn't the perfect way. There is a better there's a better way to do it. It's not saying, like I said, you don't have to change what you're doing, but there's a way to improve it. What is something that you think y'all do extremely well?
We communicate very well with our customers, and I mean, I went to one today, and like there were some issues, but I came back, and they're like, "Wow, well, like we appreciate you coming back." Most companies wouldn't do that since they got paid a month ago or so, and just communicating, being transparent, and being honest with our customers, and just explaining the process. Taking care of the customer by communication, just letting them understand the process and everything that goes on during their job. And I mean, obviously we do great work, but I mean, that's everyone can say that. But I think taking care of the customer and just serving them in the right way is something we do very well.
Have you had anybody try to, like, when you get in these bigger jobs, have you had anybody try to, like, bite you or try to, like, rip you off or take advantage of you? Back, like, I'm just thinking when you started getting into these bigger jobs, you started getting these high ticket things, and you're like, man, I mean, there has to be a point where you're like, okay, I don't know how to handle this. Like, I'm realizing some of that. And have you had anybody that's tried to take advantage of you? And if so, how have you kind of gone around that?
You just have to be very detailed in the scope of work on your quote is what I've learned. Because basically, I was talking to my office manager yesterday about this with an issue that came up. Basically, if it's not typed out on what we're doing, and if it's not going to hold up in court, they don't have an argument really. Like, unless you did tell them that, and then you got to stick to your word. But like I just quoted, it was like sod, front, side, and backyards. And it was like an open field. I didn't even think about it. And the dirt work guys tore up 4,000 more square feet of dirt and graded it than I'd planned on. So I obviously had to pay for the extra sod because that's what I quoted. If I would have put X amount of square foot, I could have told them, hey, this is how much square foot I quoted. We're going to need 4,000 square feet more. So it's just being very detailed in your quote and just making sure that it's worded correctly to not bite you in the butt down the road. And just having terms and conditions for those landscape jobs too is also a big deal, especially with warranties, with plants, sod, trees, all of that stuff. So just making sure to cover your hind end and just I'd recommend having that terms and conditions page because it's saved me and customers know up front just kind of what's going to go on and what we're responsible for and what we're not responsible for.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with that. And this is not legal advice. You go consult somebody, your own legal personal advice there for your business. But how have you gone about doing that? Have you just created your own work or your own like document of the scope of work and then the why can I not think of what you just said? Tell me what you just said.
Terms and conditions.
Yeah, terms and conditions. Have you like come up with that on your own, or have you had somebody like an attorney draft that and kind of approve it so it would hold up in court? How have you gone about that?
No, I bought Andy Mulder has one for his landscape and hardscape jobs, so I bought that and then just kind of pieced that together, and then just as like basically I've just thought of every situation we've had come up.
Mm-hmm.
Just typed out as just disclaimers and just kind of, if this thing happens, here's what we're responsible for and what we're not. Just because, I mean, there's unknown things and things that happen that you don't know is going to happen.
Mm.
And you just need to cover yourself for it. But I did it myself. I probably should have an attorney look over it. But, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing, like, insane. It's just very simple things that way the customer knows, like, you're not responsible for these things if they do it right.
Yeah, and, I mean, typically, like, I feel like you're not going to really get that much pushback. Like you said, if it's on writing, on a piece of paper, the customer signed it, well, if something arises and you come back and say, look, here's what you signed, this is what we talked about, it's here on paper, then it's going to be really hard for them to even argue that anyway. And if you do have those people out there, then you have to decide, is it even worth going to court over? Because if somebody's going to try to take you to court over a $30 oak leaf hydrangea that died, like, replace the hydrangea and move on with your life. you gotta realize, like, there's certain things you can't worry about. You got to just do the customer service side of things and fix them. Like the sod, that's crazy. I mean, tell as much of that story as you can, but 4,000 square feet of sod, like, that's not a $100 like added cost to the job. You took a big profit hit on that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't lose money. I mean, we were close, but I was just rolling quotes out, and I didn't even think twice to put the square footage in there. I was like, oh, it's basically graded. They'll just Harley rake it, and it'll be good to go because the builder does the dirt work themselves. And we got there with sod. We had it all installed, and we're short. And I really wanted to text him like, hey, I didn't quote this much. I need more money. But I didn't include the square footage. So, like, he just, on his side, it says sod, front, side, and backyard. So I wouldn't have, like, I just had to do the right thing, even though it didn't make money. It's taking care of the customer and standing by your word.
Yeah, I mean, now you have a customer that's going to rave about you and talk about you moving on. Like, that's not going to come back and bite you. And at the end of the day, you're out, what, $1,000 for sod or something like that on that, maybe a little bit more on that many pallets.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, it's not, at the end of the day, when you're doing jobs that size, like, it's not worth risking your company's reputation on.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go bankrupt over it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sucks, but it's part of it. You learn from it. You don't make that mistake again, and you move on.
Now that's the thing you said. Everybody's got to rewind 30 seconds. You will go bankrupt if you don't fix the issue. Like if you don't learn from it and not do it again. Those are the things that will nickel and dime you to death. Like those little inefficiencies, and that's not a little inefficiency. That's a big mistake. But little inefficiencies like that you don't figure out along the way. Of you're putting in an irrigation system and you calculate 30 heads instead of 40 or something like that, and you have to put actually 40 heads in the zone or whatever your thing is. Like those are the little things that'll nickel and dime you. And how have you noticed that side of the business as you've grown and scaled, and you're totally out of the field now, correct?
Yep, basically. I mean, I'll walk through jobs with the guys. We're gonna, in the next 6 to 8 months, we'll transition our main guy into a production manager type role or project manager. So he'll have that responsibility, and I'll be mainly sales. But just doing that in sales right now, and then obviously running the back end of the business, and it's been good. My office manager Amanda's like awesome. She has. I don't know how I do it. I wouldn't be able to do it without her now, but.
So how have you seen the financial little things that have not nickel and dimed you, but like as you've grown and scaled, expenses rise, like you bring on more people, labor costs grow, all the things that are involved with that. Like hiring people is not cheap, employing people is not cheap, doing it the right way, not cheap. And so how have you is it just like systems, like you said, that have made you stay profitable? Have you lost money in the last year at some point and been like, okay, I realize I got to change things. I got to fix things when it comes to the hiring process. Like all of the little things, the little nuances that go into scaling the way that you are right now, it comes with added expense and cost. Like how have you battled that or worked through those situations? That's a tough question.
Bank. I mean, yeah. And having, like, to be honest, having a line of credit for me, like, I've utilized it a ton.
Yeah.
With growing, just because cash flow, like, I mean, sometimes it's tight, and you need that. Like, if you use that or you have it just your savings account, either or, like, they both work. But just making sure you know all your costs and you don't just, oh, there's 20 grand I didn't realize I'd spent, and now I need to make up for that, or whatever it is. It's just understanding your cost and doing a budget, accounting for how many crews you have producing work in the field, what they need to produce per hour, per day, per week, etc., and what your like equipment, and just recovering all your overhead is what you really need to focus on, and making sure that you're at least, I mean, obviously you want to be profitable, but like our break even is around $50 per hour. Like obviously we do not want to be under that at all, but we want to be around 80 is what we have. But I mean, just knowing that cost, and everyone's different because every business is set up different, but just learning your actual numbers, even though it's repeated 1,000 times, like you need to actually understand it and go over your profit and loss and have a bookkeeper handle all that stuff for you and stay on top of it, or it's going to get away from you. And that's where you start to lose money.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of everything you just said there. It's I feel like were you scared? Like have you felt nervous along the way? I mean, because you're also not very old. How old are you?
22. So
22. Yeah, we're right around the same age. So
yep. I was talking to Madison a few weeks ago about it, and like obviously I wasn't scared at all. And I probably, like looking back now, I probably should have been by the amount that I grew, but I was young, kind of dumb. I mean, kind of somewhat planned, but I leveraged a lot of money for equipment that we scaled with, which obviously paid off, and trying to pay those off early as quick as possible. But I mean, just make sure you have a calculated risk. Like, obviously you have to take risk, but don't go finance $300,000 of equipment because someone on social media says to. You need to make sure that return on investment is going to benefit your business, and it's not just to post on Instagram or make a TikTok video about and say, oh, look at all this nice equipment I have. If it doesn't make money and your business doesn't make money, there's no point, I think, to have it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm in agreement with that. Like, you gotta do what's best for you and your business, and you have to make sure you're making money and staying profitable at it. If you're not doing that stuff, then you're going to end up in the ground very, very quickly, and we don't want that for anybody, because that's a sad thing. And I know there's a lot of people that actually have gone out of business, and it's weird kind of seeing there's certain people on Instagram that started out when I started my Instagram 3 years ago, whatever it was. Like, there are people in the community that were running businesses, and now they're not, and it's just you don't see much of them anymore. And I realized, like, yeah, they're not in business anymore, and that's kind of sad. And it's like I feel bad because I don't feel bad because, I mean, your business is what you make it. But at the same time, it's like, man, that sucks. And we don't want that to happen to anybody out there. So how have what is family life like, man? What is you said Madison, and then y'all have a little boy or girl, right?
Yep, little boy. He's 11 months old, Brooks. It's been a long 11 months, but, I mean, it's been awesome. It's been a challenge, but, I mean, it's awesome being a parent and just raising him and just enjoying that time, even though the lack of sleep is real. So
yeah.
It's been really fun.
Is he a bad sleeper?
Not really. I mean, he slept pretty good. He eats all the time, and he'll wake up about once a night to eat and he's getting, but yeah, I'm ready to get a full night's rest again.
Yeah. Oh man, I hear that. No, hey, we got to come to Arkansas and see y'all and hang out for a day. I don't realize how similar we are. Like, you're a year different from me as far as age wise goes, and then our Jack is 9 months old. So, like, we're very, very close in that same stage of life right there. Now, you're running a way bigger business than I am, but the whole marriage and that type of thing, that's cool to hear that there's other people out there that are in and around our age and things. And it's cool to hear other people out there just growing their lives and growing their business. And I mean, remind me, are you a like first generation entrepreneur, or is there other people in your family that have done it?
So my grandpa he runs I'm the fifth generation of our family farm. So he runs that. And then my dad owns 2 electrical businesses. I was supposed to go work for him after high school and decided not to. And I'm very similar to how he is, and decided to start this, and it's grown to what it is. But I mean, I learned a ton from my parents, and just and them helping me out with it, whether it's how QuickBooks worked or profit and loss, and just lessons in business. And I mean, I've learned a lot from them, and very thankful for the relationship I have with them, and just everything I've been able to learn and they've taught me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you have a good support group around you then, good community to kind of help teach you and also help you learn along the way. Like, there's a lot of things that a lot of guys don't know, and the internet, you can learn a lot off the internet. You can learn almost anything on the internet, but then it's hard to just get some of the times that real life, real world experience from people that are around you. Having that in your family, that entrepreneurial journey there, that's pretty cool to hear that you've had that in your repertoire to be able to just go talk to them and ask questions and things like that. I tell you, dude, what's some advice you would give to guys out there who are just looking to maybe just expand their service, get into some of these jobs like you're doing, and grow their team as well? Let's do this. Let's go grow your team route first. How would you say, going from 2 guys to 3 guys, or 1 guy to 2 guys, or 3 guys to 5 guys, that whole process that you've been in, you're pretty recently still in that and coming out of that. Now you're in 9 to 12, but you're not that far removed from it. So what is some advice you would give on that as far as growing your team and keeping quality up, and just training them and guiding them along the way?
I mean, just explain the values that you have and that you have for the company, and you just need to explain that to them, and what's important to you and the business needs to be important to them, or it's not a fit. And you can hire all these guys who say they're experienced, but are they really good people? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have good people working for you, the quality will suffer and the customer service will suffer. Like, yeah, you can get someone new off the street that's never done landscaping, but a great person, and you can teach them the landscaping because it's a skill that you teach. And I mean, I went through tons of guys, probably over 50 employees in 2 years. But
Wow.
now I'm starting to find, I mean, I rolled through them. And in 2020, it was rough. Like we were at 6 guys at one point, and then at one point in the summer, we were back down to 3 as me, or I guess 2 as me and 2 guys. And I mean, it was hard just trying to find people, but I mean, I've kept at it and just stayed consistent with it, and not budging on what I believe in and what our company is going to be based on, and sticking to that no matter if we've grown faster or slower because of it. We want great people, and eventually you'll have those great people come along. Just don't give up. I mean, it's a hard battle. It's like hiring people is the hardest thing, and managing people is the hardest thing that you'll ever do in business. But it's the most rewarding thing, and also at the same time the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I haven't done it on to the scale that you have, but we've had guys come through the past couple of years, and it's just like, and we have guys here now, and I'm like, man, it really challenges you as a person and as a leader. Like, you have to get your crap together and get on the same page as you and your team, and that you need to get them on the same page as you, and just make sure your values are aligned, and make sure you're actually like promoting your core values and doing the things that you want them to be doing. That's something I've had to realize is like I have to be performing and showing what I want done to them so they can learn from my actions. I tell you, what are some ways that you would? Oh, go ahead.
One more thing that we've started doing this year, and I like it, and my guys like it, is we'll do, and like I'll screen. I mean, I'll get on the phone, talk to a new applicant, and then after that, I'll have them go to a job site, and they'll work with the guys for 2 to 4 hours. And I get to hear what the guys think of him because I get to see him work, talk to him. They get to ask my guys questions. And it's the guys are the ones working with them. If it's not a fit for them, it's not a fit for me.
Yeah.
So that's something we've been doing, and I just pay them for whatever time they did show. But we've been able to weed out some people that talk up a big game and then go out there, and it's a nightmare that we dodged.
Yeah, no, that's good advice. We do that when it comes to hiring new guys for us as well, like Mowing and things. They come and work with us for a couple of days before I actually like offer the job, and obviously they'll get compensated for what they do work. But if it comes back and it's just not a good fit, then we're just going to say, here's your money, thanks for coming. I don't think it's not a good fit for us right now. And so I think that's a very good way to do it, to avoid the whole like hiring and firing process. That's not fun. You don't have to do that any more than you have to, especially when you get into like doing it legally as far as like state things and workers' comp and unemployment and taxes and all that stuff. So it turns into a way bigger issue than you want to deal with. But what's some advice to guys that are trying to get into some bigger landscape jobs that they're mowing, they're hustling, and they maybe do a couple mulch jobs, maybe do a few planting jobs here and there, but then they're wanting to kind of break through that barrier and get into some bigger landscape jobs?
You don't want to go look for only bigger landscape jobs. So, I mean, we started out just doing a bunch of flower bed cleanups, and we still do flower bed cleanups for a lot of people. But we've never been like seeking, we're only going to do big landscape jobs. We market and we brand ourselves very well, that we look like a $10, $20 million company, I think, by our website and social media and the content that we post. But just having a great brand image and just doing great work and getting the customers that you do work for, even if it's just a small planting job, that they can, you get a good review for them and ask for referrals if they have any friends needing their services. And it's grown the past, 5 years basically, from mowing to these bigger landscape jobs now. But you don't want to just go searching for them because you're not going to find them. You need to slowly build up because, management on a bigger landscape job is a lot harder than a flower bed cleanup. And if you mismanage it, you can lose money very quickly. So I wouldn't suggest just going straight to big landscape jobs, hardscaping, without having the proper knowledge and training of how to do a job efficiently and right.
There you go. That's 100. I agree with everything there. There's not much more than I can add to it. That's really, really good.
Yeah. We kind of learned trial and error. Like, we weren't going to take on crazy jobs, but like there's some jobs that like we were stretching a little bit, and we just communicate with our customer, and if there's any issues, we're going to fix it. Like, doing drainage is a big one. It's a learning curve, and you need to take like the NDS certification. Like, it's a good thing to just learn and understand how drainage works and what materials to use and what's the proper way to do it. And then the same with hardscaping. Like, we did our first paver patio last fall, and that was we've been in business for almost 5 years, and we didn't try and jump into that because everyone else is. You have to go at your pace and do the jobs that you like to do. And if it's $2,000 flower bed cleanup and like planting jobs, that's awesome. Those are very profitable, but you don't need to be looking for just a higher ticket number just because it's a higher number.
Yeah, 100%. And just because it's a higher number doesn't mean you're making a higher profit. And that's what you got to be able to realize and discern. I popped up on your website here because you said you had the $10 million website, and I would agree with that. It is very, very professional. And I saw here you offer financing. Can you speak on that at all? Is that something you'd be okay to sharing? Like, how did you kind of start doing that?
It's through
Home improvement loans.
I forgot what it is,
but it's on here right now.
Yeah, I think it's just an online company, and you can sign up for it. I don't think I've had anyone use it, but we give them the option.
Okay.
And then through Jobber recently, they teamed up with a company that also offers financing as well, and it's LinkedIn Jobber, and it seems like a fairly easy system to go through, just to offer your customers that, just if they want to use it.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you had ever had it. So you hadn't had anybody use it yet, but it's there if they would like to.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a cheaper interest rate if they just went through their bank directly rather than that website, I would assume.
Yeah.
It's an option there. It's them thinking about it, too, if they want to go that route.
Yeah, that's right. And that's good info. Well, dude, I appreciate it, man. I really do. I appreciate you hopping on tonight and making some time for the show. Where can anybody find you? Is there any words of advice or wisdom that we hadn't gotten to that you want to leave anybody with?
Just always continue to market. Like, even if you are booked out, just continue to market. Like, it's something that you need to stay on top of to consistently get those leads in, to pre-qualify and find those great customers that you want to work with, and not just be searching for anyone that needs landscaping, because you got to find your ideal customer and try and work for them as much as possible. But I mean, just always be marketing, always be trying to grow in some sort or fashion. I mean, it doesn't have to be money. It can be quality. It can be profitability. There's a lot of different things you can grow in, but just always, if you want to be in business, you need to be growing somewhere or another, or you're going to get stagnant. And I mean, I don't think it'll be a good thing if you just get stagnant and you're okay just at a certain size of business. You need to always be looking to be better each and every day.
All right, guys, we're back. Sorry, we got cut off mid-sentence there. I forgot my Zoom Pro plan expired, and so it kicked me out at 40 minutes. We hit the limit and just cut Eric off right when he was in the middle of saying what he was saying. But he was talking about, Eric, you were talking about just making sure you're marketing and you're not staying stagnant in business. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Honestly, I don't know where you were going. Maybe you remember where you were going with that, but it was just talking about you don't want to stay stagnant. You want to, even if you're not growing numbers, you want to grow the interior of your business as well. Just don't stay in the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, just always be striving to get better. I feel like if you're in business, you want to try and get better at something each year. It can be different every year, but I mean, you always want to be going forward and looking up, and not be stagnant and just kind of be like, oh, this is where I want to be, because you're not going to have great team members that want to stay at that business if you're just like, oh, I'm kind of cool, I'm just fine sitting here, we're making good money. Like, if you're not providing better opportunities, or just a better paying job or whatever that is for your employees, like, it's almost like you're failing them to a sense, and I feel that way. Like, I don't know when we're going to stop growing. I don't think we ever will. Like, as long as we have great people, I want to keep providing, the upward mobility in our company for those people to grow.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. You got to empower your team. You got to give them something to work towards, and in doing that, they're going to give you the best product and service that you can ask for. Like, it's going to make your company grow that way. That's really cool, man. It's great to hear that that's the outlook for the company, and I want to do maybe a year 3 review next June, and we'll see what happens if we don't get you on sooner than that. But I love hearing what you're doing, man. It really is an inspiration. Where can everybody find you and kind of follow along with you on socials or anything, if you don't mind sharing that?
Instagram is probably the best one, and it's at Fayark Lawn Co. And then our website's landscapefayetteville.com. But those are the 2 best ways to find me. And then, if anyone wants to email or call, I'd be happy to, or DM me, I'd be happy to talk about business or whatever they've got going on and help them out. So.
Yeah, man, I love it. Just giving back. That's what we need more of. And I would encourage anybody to go look at his website. Go check out the website there and see, like, you really are giving off the impression of an $8 to $10 million company, and that's a really cool. You're striving. You want to look like the company that you want to be. And it's not the company that you currently are. It's the one you're working towards. And so that's what we're trying to do here, and it's what you're trying to do there. That's what everybody should be trying to do. So that's really good information and good advice, buddy. Well, dude, I appreciate it, for real. Thank you so much for fitting us into the schedule and coming on here this evening and hanging out with us for tonight. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in this week. Thanks for bearing with us on Wednesday there. But, hey, look what it got us. Sorry we couldn't put a new show out, but we got a great one here for Friday. And I really, truly believe a lot of people are going to learn a lot from this. And so if you did, shoot Eric a message. Let him know that this show helped and you heard him on the show. That those mean the world to the guests that come on the show, and then myself as well, just getting to hear that people are listening and learning and growing. Because that's what we're here for, is just to give back and just so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. If you would, leave us a big 5-star rating and review for the show. Those help us and help grow the shows out there so we can do that. And that would be very, very appreciated on our side. And so we just thank you for tuning in. And without any further ado, that is actually going to wrap this episode up. Thanks, Eric, for joining us, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.